The colossal station Nexus Prime drifted quietly in the dark between distant suns. Its glittering towers and colossal rings extended for kilometers across the void. Within the central council hall, Admiral Jake Morrison remained seated in the human section, observing the quarterly strategic review unfold around him. The chamber itself was vast, with envoys from dozens of civilizations arranged in a flawless circle surrounding a holographic map projecting fleet activity across the stars. At the center stood Chairman Veltar, crystalline frame shimmering beneath. The displays glow, scattering rainbow flares across polished walls. The Nexari elder was ancient by any measure, his tone bearing the weight of eras as he addressed the chamber. Today, he reviewed the military strength of every council world, and Jake already anticipated the veiled contempt that would soon fall upon Earth. The reptilian Vrak gave the opening display of might. War Archief Korarak, towering nearly 3 meters tall, moved with scales rippling from green to black. His kind had fought for millennia, their dreadnoughts renowned across the galaxy. The projection showed enormous warships bristling with plasma turrets and missile batteries. Each Vrak vessel rivaled a city in scale, fully capable of obliterating continents from orbit. Then came the insectoid Zephyrians with their hive-like fleets. Queen Speaker Zella's compound eyes sparkled in the glow as she motioned toward the display. Countless fighters swarmed in perfect formation, a deadly storm of living metal. The Zephyrians had mastered the doctrine of overwhelming force through endless numbers. Their pilots were bred solely for combat and possessed no instinct for fear. After them came the Aquatic Deepwater Alliance with their living craft. Admiral Kethra hovered inside a specialized chamber filled with methane vapors required for her kind. Their armadas were grown, not forged, using coral-like organisms that could regenerate damage and evolve against foes. The bioships appeared, strange and organic, yet unleashed devastating energy from their living hulls. Each demonstration earned nods of respect from assembled delegates. These were the true titans of galactic war, and none doubted their dominance. Jake studied intently as one civilization after another flaunted war machines strong enough to topple worlds. The Korak Empire boasted their brutal siege craft meant for planetary conquest. The crystalline Quartzians revealed mining barges repurposed into fortress ships. Finally, Chairman Veltar directed his gaze toward the humans. Jake felt the entire chamber shift to watch as Captain Lisa Hayes rose to present Earth's defense report. Lisa, a seasoned officer long practiced in alien diplomacy, kept her face calm, though Jake noted the faint stiffness in her frame. The projection changed, showing Earth's listed navy, 12 outdated cruisers accompanied by a scattering of patrol craft and transports. The tally looked pitiful compared to what had preceded. The Vrak alone fielded more vessels in a single task, force than Earth possessed in all. War Speaker Thex of the Korak Empire emitted a harsh, guttural sound that could only be laughter. His kind resembled predators forged from shark and wolf, with jaws lined in gleaming metal that glinted when he bared his metallic grin. The humans parade their trade fleet as a navy, he declared loudly for all in attendance. A ripple of derisive remarks spread from other delegates in alien tongues. Chairman Veltar lifted a crystalline hand to restore order, though Jake could detect the hidden amusement in the elder's stance. Earth's participation in galactic security is acknowledged, Veltar announced, his tone implying the opposite. Still, considering the meager state of humanity's armed forces, the Council must determine suitable assignments. Captain Hayes kept her place standing as debate began regarding Earth's place in the defense structure. The postings proposed were insulting. Distant rim patrols in sectors devoid of activity, minor trade route escorts with negligible importance. Jake listened as humanity was neatly pushed aside from any meaningful role. Perhaps humans are better suited to relief missions, Admiral Kethra remarked from her methane chamber. Their vessels seem designed for such peaceful tasks. A chorus of agreement followed. War Speaker Thex leaned forward with mock courtesy. The Korak Empire would gladly extend added protection to human colonies, he said smoothly. It is obvious Earth lacks strength to shield itself from raiders. The threat was thinly veiled, yet no one mistook its meaning. Jake's jaw tightened, though his diplomatic mask remained firm. None of this surprised him. For decades, the Council had dismissed mankind as a second-rate people with no military weight, useful for commerce and knowledge, but strategically irrelevant. It was an image Earth had deliberately cultivated. The session dragged on for another hour as borders were confirmed and patrol routes formalized. Humanity received the least critical posts in the remotest regions. Jake signed the accords with a steady hand, even as Thex repeated taunts about human inadequacy. When adjournment came, Jake collected his files and strode calmly from the hall. Hayes matched his pace through the station's corridors until they boarded their waiting craft, remaining silent until they were certain no ears could overhear. The return voyage to Earth lasted 3 days through hyperspace. Jake buried himself in intelligence briefs preparing for what was coming. When their ship emerged by Luna, the blue world shone in the void like a fragile gem. To outsiders, Earth appeared defenseless, exactly the image they expected. A nondescript shuttle greeted them, flying a hidden course outside normal traffic lanes. Rather than docking at public ports, it descended into the Rockies, where a fortress facility was buried beneath layers of granite and steel. President Dan Walsh awaited in the secure chamber alongside Fleet Admiral Kate Williams. The windowless room was hardened against every form of surveillance. Jake seated himself at the polished table and activated the central holo display. Their reaction? President Walsh asked, as footage of the meeting shimmered above the table. Jake replayed the critical moments. The scorn, the dismissive threats. Admiral Williams leaned back, frowning as Thex's words replayed. The Korak grow bold, she noted. Our sources report fleet concentrations near our borders. Walsh's face hardened. Then it begins, he said quietly. How soon until the final stage? Jake met their gazes, knowing this was the pivot point. For 15 years, humanity had worn the mask of weakness while secretly forging power enough to stun the galaxy. Concealed yards across the solar system had labored without pause. Weapons beyond imagination were perfected in the shadows. Project Sleeping Giant is operational, Admiral Williams confirmed. Commanders await the activation code. She gestured as a new projection revealed locations across human space where colossal ships lay hidden. In truth, Earth's Navy numbered over 400 cutting-edge vessels, each fitted with technology alien science could not fathom. Adaptive armor that regenerated. Armaments that pierced shields. Engines capable of impossible maneuvers. Jake remembered the sneers in the chamber, the Korak threats. Very soon, the galaxy would realize Earth was anything but weak. 3 months after Nexus Prime, War Speaker Thex resolved to act. The Korak Empire's plan for New Denver had been weeks in motion, and he was certain the human colony would collapse within hours. Nearly 2 million civilians inhabited the fertile world, hub of agriculture for frontier holdings. Thex stood upon the command deck of his dreadnought as the planet loomed ever larger. His fleet, 20 warships, with 3 heavy cruisers and his flagship leading, moved against what he considered laughable human defenses. Overkill, yes, but a statement. The orbitals had been cleared and transports fled outward in desperation. Thex bared metallic teeth in a cruel smile as chaos filled the screen. Soon the Council would witness what befell species refusing Korak protection. Earth would kneel. Single contact left in orbit, reported his officer. All eyes turned to the display. One small human vessel holding station. A mere patrol cruiser, sensors indicated, coordinating evacuation. Thex scoffed. One relic guarding an entire world? He gestured in contempt. Signal surrender or be annihilated. The reply came swiftly. Captain Sam Rodriguez of the Earth ship Liberty broadcast openly, every Korak ship receiving his words. This is Captain Rodriguez commanding the vessel, Liberty. You will withdraw immediately or face consequences. His voice carried no fear, only calm resolve. The Korak bridge erupted in savage laughter. War speaker, they dare threaten us with one ship, his officer howled. Thex leaned forward, savoring. Captain Rodriguez, he transmitted, you have 30 seconds to submit before we prove resistance is futile. He cut the channel and gave the order. Target engines. Leave them alive to watch their colony burn. The Liberty stayed, firm as the Korak fleet advanced. Rodriguez stood steady on his bridge, his crew bracing for battle. Lieutenant Amy Foster manned tactical controls, while Chief Engineer Bobby Clark maintained systems below. Every hand moved with quiet precision that revealed long training and readiness. Korak fleet arming weapons, Lieutenant Foster reported. Targeting engines as expected. Her steady gaze met the captain's. All systems green, sir. Rodriguez nodded and opened ship-wide comms. All hands, this is the captain. His voice rang through every deck and chamber. Override safeties and show them what Earth design is capable of. This is no drill. Throughout the Liberty, hidden compartments slid away, exposing the A vessel's concealed strength. The hull reshaped as weapon ports unfolded from what looked like plain armor plating. Energy conduits, once silent, now roared awake, lighting the ship's core. On the Korak flagship, the weapons officer blinked in disbelief. War speaker, the human vessel is transforming, he stammered, detecting huge power surges, unknown armaments appearing across the hull. Thex snarled, slamming his fist against the chair. Fire everything! Eradicate them before they complete this ruse. The Korak unleashed a storm of plasma and slugs, an onslaught blazing toward the Liberty. The human warship answered instantly, and with annihilating force. Sleek plasma batteries of a type alien science had never recorded, slid free and fired with ruthless precision. Each burst cut through Korak defenses, as though shields and armor weren't there at all. Quantum torpedoes flared afterward, detonating with catastrophic violence, ripping vast holes in enemy hulls. Impossible, Thex whispered, as three cruisers lost power, spinning crippled into the void. One ship had torn through his armada like parchment beneath a blade. How can a single vessel unleash such destruction? On the Liberty's bridge, Rodriguez remained composed, his every order deliberate. Lieutenant Foster, strip weapons from their flagship. Chief Clark, maximum output to engines. The Liberty twisted through space with impossible agility, weaving between the massive warships while firing unrelentingly. Quantum warheads tracked their prey with flawless accuracy, while plasma beams carved ships open like glowing knives. Within minutes, half the Korak fleet was gone, burning wrecks or dead hulks adrift. Thex felt his triumph collapse into dread. All units retreat, he barked. Fall back to safe range, regroup at once. His surviving ships tried to flee, but Liberty's firepower cut them down even as they turned away. Captain Rodriguez keyed the comms and transmitted a priority signal toward Earth. His words were few, yet carried the weight of history. Admiral Morrison, this is Rodriguez aboard the Liberty. Korak forces attacked New Denver. Request immediate activation of Project Sleeping Giant. The reply from Earth Command arrived within hours, coursing across hyperspace relays. Morrison's voice was steady, yet carried an iron edge. Transmission acknowledged, Captain Rodriguez. All fleets. Activate Project Sleeping Giant. Show them the truth of humanity. Across the solar system, hidden fortresses, long silent, stirred awake. Within the asteroid belt, shadows shifted as colossal battleships emerged from camouflage among drifting stone. From deep within Jupiter's great red spot, a secret yard opened as Captain Ben Carter led his destroyer wing into the storm's light. The planet's raging maelstrom had hidden construction for years, now releasing a fleet, born in silence. Elsewhere, Commander Sarah Wells guided her carrier group forward from the Kuiper Belt, where they had masqueraded as ice for more than 2 years. Her flagship alone dwarfed anything the Council believed humanity could field. The carrier's vast hangars split open, releasing squadrons of fighters equipped with the same advanced systems as the Liberty. At New Denver, Rodriguez scanned his tactical display as friendly signals appeared across the grid. Hidden ships decloaked in silence, the USS Constitution and USS Independence revealing themselves near the moons. Captains Alex Turner and Ryan Pierce commanded those titanic battleships, each eclipsing the Korak dreadnoughts. War Speaker Thex stared at his monitors in disbelief as human giants closed around him. "Where did they come from?" he demanded, but none could answer. To his crew, the ships had appeared from nothing. The truth was worse than any nightmare. For 15 years, mankind had been secretly constructing a fleet destined to overturn the galactic balance forever. While the galaxy mocked their handful of patrol boats, Earth had raised more than 400 warships in silence. Rodriguez opened a channel to the shattered enemy. "War Speaker Thex, this is Rodriguez of the Liberty," he said, voice calm as stone. "You are surrounded and hopelessly outgunned. Surrender your ships now, or they will be destroyed." Thex glanced around his shattered bridge at the ruin on every display. His once proud armada was reduced to crippled hulks, penned in by the very prey he thought defenseless. For the first time in his life, Thex felt what it meant to be utterly outclassed. Urgent transmissions streaked across Council relays, spreading chaos through the galaxy. At Nexus Prime, Chairman Veltar stood amid the command nexus, surrounded by screens screaming impossible data. Human warships were surfacing everywhere at once, as if materialized from the void itself. First came the reports of New Denver, where Thex's fleet was obliterated. At first, analysts dismissed it as rumor or crude human propaganda. No patrol cruiser could have destroyed 20 Korak warships, but the confirmations kept coming, and with them, revelations far worse. Admiral. Thra swirled within her methane tank, voice quivering. "Chairman, these readings are impossible, yet the humans are showing fleets near every Council world, even our own." War Chief Kororak slammed his scaled fist against metal. "Lies!" he roared. "Our networks would detect such incursions. These ships cannot exist." Yet the data screamed the truth. The crystalline leader turned to the master display as more reports flooded in. Battleships rising from asteroid belts in the Centauri system. Carriers unfurling from frozen moon fields. Destroyers unmasking along critical trade arteries once thought secure. Queen Speaker Zila's compound eyes flickered as she processed the nightmare. "If these readings are true," she hissed, "then humans have deceived us for years. Their fleet eclipses everything we imagined." The doors parted and Admiral Jake Morrison strode into the chamber with unshakable calm. The human once relegated to silence now moved with authority, the weight of power visible in his stride. Captain Hayes followed, flanked by guards the Council had not even noticed enter. "Honored Chairman," Morrison said, inclining his head, with a bow that felt closer to mockery than respect. "I believe this session concerns humanity's military strength." He gestured toward the blazing displays where human fleets held position across Council space. "I trust the demonstrations have been enlightening." Veltar's crystalline body dimmed faintly, an echo of embarrassment rippling through his facets. "Admiral Morrison, perhaps you will explain how Earth raised such forces without discovery." His voice had lost all the derision it once carried. Morrison smiled faintly and activated a portable holo projector. A three-dimensional galaxy map filled the air. Red markers for human fleets, blue for alien holdings. The pattern was stark and terrifying. Every vital system lay under the shadow of Earth's reach. "For 15 years you dismissed us as weak," Morrison said, manipulating the display mapping fleet maneuvers across time. "You enforced embargoes, assigned us trivial escort runs, and threatened our colonies. All the while we were constructing and deploying the real Earth Navy." Captain Hayes stepped forward, linking her own projector to the display. "The ships you tracked during our trials represented less than 3% of our actual naval capacity," she clarified. "The vessels you dismissed as outdated relics were actually our diplomatic corps outfitted with advanced stealth and defensive suites." War Archief Korax leaned in, scrutinizing the tactical feed intently. "These energy profiles bear no resemblance to our archives," he admitted reluctantly. "How did your kind create such weaponry without our intelligence discovering the projects?" Morrison pointed to another overlay depicting vast industrial works scattered across the system. "While you scoffed at us as backward, we pursued combat from entirely separate philosophies," he said. "Our scientists confronted problems your species never even contemplated." The holo shifted, detailing human arsenal schematics, adaptive, hull plating able to repair catastrophic impacts instantly, phase shift weapons bypassing shields by existing partially outside local space, and quantum warheads generating collapse distortions upon detonation. Admiral Kathra examined the outputs with the trained perspective of an engineer. "This regenerating armor is clearly modeled on organic functions," she remarked. "Your technology employs theories that contradict accepted physics." Captain Hayes answered, proudly. "Our researchers tackled obstacles by observing natural systems and exploiting them in unconventional frameworks." She explained that phase shift arrays were pioneered by Dr. Tony Brooks, who proved quantum principles could be scaled to tangible constructs under defined parameters. The chamber's comm relays buzzed with new transmissions flowing in from across charted space. Quartzian miners reported human stealth craft materializing inside their defenses. The Deepwater Alliance recorded carrier strike groups emerging from objects logged as drifting cosmic rubble. Most alarming was the Korak Capital report. Captain Chris Johnson's USS Shadow had executed a display that paralyzed leadership with dread. The vessel appeared live on planetary broadcasts, then vanished completely while still occupying identical space. Every detection system insisted the zone was empty. Morrison toggled another sequence showing the New Denver battle, where Captain Rodriguez decimated half the opposition unaided. "The USS Liberty that crushed your fleet is cataloged only as a light cruiser within our command structure," he added with chilling nonchalance. Captain Rodriguez fought under severe rules of engagement, limiting destruction while proving effectiveness. Queen Speaker Zelia's instincts shrieked in terror as she calculated the consequences. "If that vessel is deemed light strength, then what classification applies to your core war machines?" she pressed, though fearing the response. "The USS Freedom, stationed just beyond this hub, is our newest carrier flagship," Morrison declared. "Admiral Kate Williams commands a strike group equipped with our peak weapons platforms." He allowed the pause to emphasize gravity before continuing. "I should note Admiral Williams holds standing orders to secure this summit by any means required." Chairman Veltar's form radiated realization as humanity's deceit and foresight unfolded fully. "Admiral Morrison, what role does Earth intend to seize regarding the present galactic hierarchy?" he asked, voice subdued yet heavy. Morrison's voice carried none of its earlier sharpness. He deactivated the holographic display and fixed his eyes on each council member in turn. "Humanity asks for nothing more than what we have always sought," he said. "Equal treatment, equal representation, and an end to the intimidation and prejudice that has long defined this council's dealings with us." He gestured toward the displays still glowing with fleet positions spread across council space. "We do not seek conquest or dominion," he continued. "But we will no longer live as a second-rate species, subject to the whims of those who deem us lesser." Captain Hayes stepped forward, her tone steady as she addressed the shocked chamber. Earth proposes a framework built on cooperation, not coercion. Mutual respect in place of arrogance. Every civilization prospers more when they stand as equals. War Chief Korax was first to answer, the hardened warrior's pride tempered by recognition. The Vrak Empire admits we underestimated you. We would welcome negotiations on more balanced terms. Admiral Kathra's fluid form rippled in what resembled approval. The Deepwater Alliance has ever prized innovation, she said. Perhaps our research efforts could complement one another. Morrison nodded politely, then returned his gaze to Chairman Veltar. The choice is yours, honored Chairman. Keep humanity bound as a junior species under threat, or accept us as equals, as we have proven ourselves to be. The crystalline leaders studied the galaxy-wide deployments of human warships flickering around the chamber. The display was undeniable. Earth had revealed not just power, but discipline. A force that could destroy, but offered partnership. Chairman Veltar's crystalline form brightened. Admiral Morrison, he said, voice edged with newfound respect. Perhaps it is time the Council reevaluates its long-held views. The session carried on as alien leaders demanded answers. How had humanity developed such devastating technology in secret? Dr. Helen Martinez entered the chamber, arms laden with data tablets and compact projectors. As Earth's chief scientist, she had overseen many of the breakthroughs that birthed the hidden fleet. At Veltar's signal, she activated the presentation systems. Doctor, he said, explain how your people achieved advances our combined sciences never approached. His crystalline tone held both awe and concern. Martinez smiled faintly as images of Earth's laboratories filled the air. The difference lies in perspective, she explained. Where others refine what exists, we question the foundations themselves. The first demonstration revealed the self-repairing armor that had shielded humanity at New Denver. Korax leaned forward, scanning the data. This alloy imitates biological healing within synthetic matter, he muttered. We never imagined such applications. Exactly, Martinez affirmed. By modeling cellular regeneration, we created armor that strengthens after damage, protection that learns. Microscopic structures glowed across the hologram as Admiral Kathra swam closer within her containment sphere. Revolutionary, she admitted. Ships surviving prolonged conflict without dockyards would alter warfare itself. Martinez moved on. Schematics for phase-shift weapons filled the chamber. Dr. Tony Brooks and his team discovered that if matter can exist in quantum superposition at the subatomic scale, larger structures might do the same under precise conditions. Queen Speaker. Zelia's eyes widened. Your munitions slip through shields by existing partially beyond space-time, she said in disbelief. This overturns the foundations of physics. It challenges assumptions but breaks no laws, Martinez corrected. Our generators were built to handle the required energy. Next came the quantum torpedoes, the same that had erased the Corfac fleet. Their readouts painted destruction not by impact, but erasure. Korax studied the data with grim respect. These weapons don't destroy, they unmake at the quantum level. No armor could resist. Martinez advanced to the stealth systems, revealing the USS Shadow. Our concealment fields generate a localized dimensional pocket using controlled gravity, she explained. The ship exists within normal space, yet vanishes to all sensors. Admiral Kathra's tone brimmed with wonder. You manipulate space-time itself to hide. The energy draw must be titanic, the engineering nearly impossible. Both true, Martinez agreed. 8 years of research and breakthroughs in half a dozen disciplines made it reality. However, the tactical advantages of perfect stealth made the investment worthwhile. Chairman Veltar turned his attention to Admiral Morrison, who had been watching the presentation with obvious pride. Admiral, What is the full scope of humanity's industrial capabilities? He asked. The construction of such an advanced fleet in secret suggests manufacturing capacity far beyond our estimates. Morrison activated his own display showing automated shipyards throughout the solar system. Our industrial infrastructure was designed for efficiency and concealment from the beginning, he explained. Hidden facilities operate continuously with minimal external oversight required. The display showed the massive construction complex, built inside a hollowed-out asteroid managed by Director Megan Clark. Robotic assembly systems worked around the clock, building ships using materials mined from the asteroid belt. The facility alone could produce 3 destroyers per month, while remaining completely invisible to outside observation. Commander Gary Lewis oversaw another facility hidden beneath Europa's ice sheet, where the moon's frozen surface concealed enormous manufacturing bays. Geothermal energy from Jupiter's gravitational effects powered the construction systems that specialized in building the larger capital ships that formed the fleet's backbone. War Chief Korarak studied the production data with growing concern. These facilities could construct new vessels at a rate requiring the combined output of 3 major alien homeworlds, he observed. How long has this industrial expansion been operational? 15 years. Admiral Morrison replied simply. We began planning and construction immediately after joining the Galactic Council when it became clear that military strength was the only currency that alien species truly respected. The battle at New Denver provided the perfect example of humanity's military philosophy in action. Captain Rodriguez had operated under strict rules of engagement designed to demonstrate overwhelming superiority, while minimizing actual casualties. The USS Liberty could have destroyed the entire Corfac fleet within minutes, but chose instead to disable most vessels and accept their surrender. Admiral Morrison displayed the combat footage showing how human weapons had surgically disabled enemy ships rather than obliterating them completely. Our doctrine emphasizes decisive victory through superior technology rather than simple destruction, he explained. We prefer to win wars without creating unnecessary enemies. Dr. Martinez returned to her presentation with examples of human innovation. In other fields, medical technology that could regrow entire organs within hours, agricultural systems that increased crop yields by 300%, transportation networks that moved cargo across light years in days rather than months. The same innovative thinking that produced our military advances has created breakthroughs in every aspect of civilization. She said, humanity approaches problems by questioning fundamental assumptions and exploring solutions that conventional wisdom considers impossible. Queen Speaker Zelia processed the implications of unlimited human technological growth. If your species continues developing, at this rate, you will surpass every other civilization in the galaxy within decades, she observed. What are humanity's long-term intentions regarding galactic leadership? Admiral Morrison deactivated his displays and looked directly at each council member. Earth has no desire to rule the galaxy or dominate other species, he said firmly. We seek partnership and cooperation based on mutual respect and shared benefits. Captain Hayes stepped forward to address the continuing concerns about human intentions. Our technological advances are freely shared with species that treat us as equals. She said the medical innovations alone could extend lifespans and improve quality of life for billions of beings throughout council space. The room fell silent as alien leaders contemplated the new reality. Humanity had revealed itself as the most technologically advanced species in known space while maintaining diplomatic frameworks for peaceful cooperation. The choice facing the Galactic Council was simple. Adapt to the new balance of power or face the consequences of continued hostility. Chairman Veltar's crystalline form brightened as he reached his decision. The Galactic Council formally acknowledges that our previous assessments of human capabilities were gravely inadequate, he announced. We propose immediate negotiations to establish new frameworks for cooperation that reflect the true balance of power in the galaxy. Admiral Morrison nodded respectfully. "Humanity accepts your proposal, Chairman." He said, "We look forward to building relationships based on equality and mutual benefit rather than the discrimination that has characterized previous interactions." The emergency session ended with alien leaders requesting immediate briefings on human technology and fleet doctrine. The galaxy was about to learn that underestimating humanity had been the most catastrophic miscalculation in its history. 6 months. Later, the shock had settled into a new reality. The Galactic Council chambers on Nexus Prime pulsed with activity as representatives from dozens of species debated joint projects that would have been unthinkable under the old order of arrogance and mistrust. Chairman Veltar stood in the great assembly hall, his crystalline frame refracting the light from holographic displays that showcased collaborations between human and alien scientists. His formal apology to humanity months earlier had ignited a wave of cooperation unlike anything in living memory. The integration of human technology with Council resources has surpassed every projection, Veltar declared. Joint medical advances alone have already saved millions of lives. The displays shifted to show hospitals on dozens of worlds, where human healing technologies reversed injuries and cured diseases once thought fatal. Admiral Jake Morrison, seated with the human delegation, observed with quiet pride. Humanity's true victory was not its unmatched arsenal, but the respect it had finally claimed. Just a week earlier, President Dan Walsh had addressed the Council by hologram, outlining Earth's vision for peaceful expansion and enduring cooperation. The negotiated terms following humanity's dramatic unveiling had been sweeping yet fair. All colonial restrictions on human settlement were immediately abolished. Earth was granted equal access to trade routes long monopolized by elder civilizations. And most importantly, the disdain once directed at humanity had been replaced with genuine partnership. During a recess, War Chief Korax of the Vera Empire approached Morrison. The towering reptilian warrior, once openly dismissive of human strength, now carried himself with the humility of one addressing a peer. "Admiral Morrison," he rumbled, "I wish to personally thank you for the restraint your fleets showed during the transition. Without it, the galaxy might have drowned in fire." Morrison rose, clasping the scaled hand in a firm grip of mutual respect. "War Chief," he replied, "the Vra have proven themselves honorable allies. Once we cleared away the lies and assumptions between us, your people's military expertise has already strengthened our shared defense, developing joint training programs for our combined fleets. The transformation spread beyond politics and military accords. Captain Sam Rodriguez had risen to admiral and assumed command of the Human Defense Fleet's Expeditionary Division. His triumph at New Denver had become legendary among both human and alien crews who now flew together on joint operations. Across Council space, Admiral Rodriguez stood aboard his flagship, observing a combined training exercise between human and Vra squadrons. Such a sight would have been unthinkable just months earlier when the two civilizations teetered at the edge of war. Now, destroyer groups from both fleets maneuvered seamlessly in coordination against simulated raider forces in the Rim territories. "Admiral, the VRA battle group requests authorization to test their enhanced plasma cannon modifications," reported Lieutenant Amy Foster from her tactical station. She had earned promotion for her remarkable performance during the New Denver battle and now served as Rodriguez's chief tactical officer. "Permission granted, Lieutenant," Rodriguez answered while watching alien ships unleash barrages from weapons integrated with human phase shift technology. The effect was devastating, as the upgraded plasma cannons tore through simulated enemy shielding with ease. "Inform War Chief Korax that the integration appears fully successful." The cooperation extended deeply into scientific discovery, where human and alien intellects joined forces to tackle challenges neither could overcome alone. Dr. Helen Martinez had founded research facilities where scientists from multiple civilizations shared methods and breakthroughs. The discoveries emerging from these centers were reshaping fundamental understanding of physics and biology throughout the galaxy. On a research station orbiting Earth's moon, Dr. Martinez collaborated with Admiral Kithra of the Deepwater Alliance to pioneer new bioship technologies. The fusion of human innovation with alien biological mastery produced vessels adaptable to any environment while still carrying the advanced weapons that made human fleets so formidable. The integration of your self-regenerating armor fused with our bioship hulls has produced something unprecedented, Admiral Kithra noted as she studied the shifting displays in her methane-rich chamber. These vessels can mend battle scars, reconstruct shattered frames, and even evolve fresh defenses when threatened. Dr. Martinez, thrilled, reviewed the streaming data. The uses reach far beyond war, she explained. Exploration craft could endure hostile worlds while adaptive medical stations might treat countless species. The former Korak domains showed how this new galactic order uplifted all. After War Speaker Thex's disgrace and imprisonment for reckless aggression, the Empire experienced sweeping reforms. Their new leaders requested human protection for frontier colonies long brutalized under military rule. Captain Ben Carter commanded a coalition fleet of human destroyers and reformed Korak warships, patrolling lanes to safeguard commerce. Once sworn foes now fought side by side against pirate flotillas that had thrived under the previous regime's corruption. Captain, distress calls from a convoy in Sector 7, reported his comms officer. Multiple ships plead for aid. Carter activated the fleet-wide channel. All vessels converge. Maximum speed. Korak units, lethal force is authorized to defend civilians. Moments later, they reached the ambush. 3 pirate craft savaging merchants carrying relief to newly freed colonies. Raiders expected obsolete patrols, but instead faced advanced human destroyers reinforced by Korak crews fighting to shield their kin. The clash was swift and decisive. Quantum torpedoes crippled raiders while Korak Marines stormed their decks and seized survivors. Carter watched the convoy resume course, satisfied that alliance made the stars safer for all. On Nexus Prime, council debates pressed forward, expanded trade, new expeditions. Queen Speaker Zelia of the Zephyrians urged using human stealth systems with their swarm tactics to scout perilous frontier sectors. Rumors tell of hostile powers beyond the rim, she warned Morrison privately. He considered gravely, such ventures demanded deep trust between species once enemies. Earth will support exploration, he agreed, if all findings are shared equally. Transformation was clearest in joint colonies rising across the stars. Human settlers built, alongside alien partners, children of many kinds playing together as families cooperated for shared prosperity. On the Nexus Prime observation deck, Morrison surveyed docks hosting vessels from dozens of civilizations, human cruisers beside wrack dreadnoughts, Zephyrian carriers, and oceanic bioships, a vision impossible under the old order. Captain Lisa Hayes arrived with reports. Production has risen 4-fold since the Accords, she announced. Morrison smiled as young cadets of every race trained together in simulators. The true victory isn't fleet power, he said softly. But proving cooperation achieves more than rivalry. Our strength lies in difference, united. The sight of old foes turned allies embodied humanity's greatest hope when first joining the Council. Military might had won respect, but the lasting triumph was forging a galactic civilization upon equality and shared gain, not fear or subjugation, as twin suns rose beyond the viewport.